Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Alpha Bro Show. What's going on, everybody? I got Josh back again this week. We are going to be discussing mustaches. Should you wear them? And the correct answer is never.
I thought we were talking about.
We're going to discuss it. Too. What? Speak up, son. No one can hear you.
We were talking about. Can you hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
can.
Yeah,
okay, you can. Yeah, no, I thought we were debating like beards or mustaches. I didn't know we were just.
There's no debate there, so I didn't want to do that to you. And no,
clearly
that's not at all we discussed. I have it wrote down.
When you said you did research, so when you did your research and realized that mustaches were way better, now it's not a debate.
We can have a part 2 and definitely go beard versus mustache. I'm fine with that because I did do research. And it's not even fucking close. Like, not even close.
You did research.
So I'm going to drop some CDC Dr. Fauci science on you real quick.
So we're going to lie.
Right, exactly. The only reason that a man would have a mustache is because he can't grow a fucking beard.
It's not true.
It's science. Yes, it is true. It's a fact. It is in the Bible somewhere. I'm almost 100%. I'm almost 50%, 100% positive that it's in the Bible somewhere.
What kind of person could only grow a mustache?
Jesus didn't have just a fucking mustache because Jesus
was
gay. Yeah, Jesus was fucking stud, alpha, maybe the alpha. Like, hey, that could be a show, I guess, maybe.
Hey, what's we get a new addition to your studio there? What is that over your right shoulder? Was that dress? Yeah, that skirt. Your right shoulder. Yeah, that. Yeah, what is that? That's new.
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, it's a fucking. You need to move it down because, like, where in the camera frame, it looks like the bottom of a skirt. Yeah, cool, man. You're a fucking nerd.
I'm about to snap you out of existence, punk.
I would definitely be one to survive.
What the fuck?
So, you couldn't.
Listen.
That's so gay.
Yeah, fucking Thanos, motherfucker.
You couldn't handle the Infinity Stones. There's no way.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been like a little bitch.
I swear it looks like you need to lower it or something. Sitting there, it looks like a dress, like it's
that's okay.
The bottom of the skirt. Yeah, it's cool.
I can be androgynous. I'm not afraid to tap into my feminine side.
We know.
All right.
I thought you were
no
gay.
Debate. Mustaches are better than beards. Guys that have beards look homeless.
Yes, that brings me to my first point. Like, what are the things that are synonymous with beards?
Hold on.
No.
Don't try to hijack my show, motherfucker.
I'm just
hijacking my show.
No. Hipsters,
Vikings.
Yeah, hipsters. No,
Abe
today nobody thinks of fucking Vikings except for you. Nobody but you.
Everybody thinks so. I have a guy in the gym that don't know my name that calls me Viking.
Oh my god!
He's like, man, I'm just gonna call you Viking. I'm like, that's all good, brother. That's exactly what you should call me.
No, hippies, homelessness.
Okay, mustache, pedophile, creeper,
porn stars.
Porn stars.
Yes, porn star mustache. Firemen, all cool shit.
Firemen only have mustaches because they can't grow beards. And like I say can't, meaning that per SOP they can't.
Well, that's true. That's because mustaches are way cooler. And they're synonymous with being a hero.
There's no way. If we polled,
that's why the SOP is
a million people,
everybody thinks it's because of that.
99.9% of all people polled would say beards are better than mustaches. Other than this one person in the fucking chat. Who's obviously drunk. Or a chick. And it is a chick.
Who is it? I can't say.
Mm.
All right, so what you got? I hijacked your show. It's your fucking show. I just show up from time to time.
I'm ready to battle beards now. You can't call out the fucking beards, bro. Fuck.
Already
Again, Viking.
Already did, and our one listener agrees.
We have 6 viewers. I'm just waiting for them to chime in. They're going to chime in any minute. So,
all right,
guys,
so
all right, I'm asking. beards or creepy little pedophile mustaches by dudes that drive vans with no fucking windows in them, or Viking beards like fucking Thor.
Well, yeah, when you describe it like that, of course
What?
people are going to go.
Dude, that's the only way to just fucking describe it. Now, okay, all right. To full transparency, the only two people that should have a fucking mustache are Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck. The two best mustaches of all time.
What about your hero, Stan Lee? He had a mustache.
He's not my hero.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you had a comic book fucking podcast for years. You've got more comic books than most comic book stores.
What? I mean, no.
Yeah, so how could you not be a fan of Stan Lee? He's like the comic book.
A fan of Stan Lee. He
had a mustache.
A little wispy-ass mustache. He couldn't grow a beard. He was a nerd. He was a comic nerd. He made comic book. You just answered your own question. He made comic book characters, so therefore he couldn't grow a manly beard. And I have someone in the chat now saying, fucking beards. Skull, brother. Skull, Brandon. Thank you, sir. Brandon knows. He's a fucking warrior. He knows.
Yeah, who else? Who else had mustaches?
There's all kinds of Navy SEALs that have mustaches. Oh, wait a minute. No, they don't. No, they don't. Now, I'm gonna argue for you real quick.
All right.
Cowboys.
Oh my God, you know how I feel about Cowboys.
You fucking hate them.
I don't hate Cowboys. Like, that's where you get me wrong. I don't hate Cowboys in like cowboy time. I hate Cowboys now. Like guys that dress like cowboys now.
Like drugstore cowboys.
Yeah, is that what they call them? I don't know.
Yeah, real cowboys call those cowboys drugstore cowboys.
Yeah,
like
they're
if you're a
dressing up.
cowboy and you ride bulls, you ride horses.
Sure. Okay.
Then you're a goddamn cowboy.
Okay.
But like, there's a dude
real.
that is, to your point, there's a guy dressing like fucking Wyatt Earp that ain't never been on a fucking horse and would be scared to death to get on one.
Exactly. And that's who you see.
Poser. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we all hate posers in any mustache or beard. We all hate fucking posers.
So, there's nobody driving cattle to the slaughterhouse anymore. So even the guys that ride bulls, they don't do that shit on bulls. They drive a fucking truck.
How you think it gets from the fucking You think that the truck backs up into the pasture and all the cows get in it?
Yeah, actually, I do. It's exactly how you think. There's guys out there with horses and fucking.
Man, there's all kinds of ranches out west that cattle rustlers is a pretty good job.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't believe you,
dude. Yes. Watch Yellowstone, which is set in today's time. Yellowstone Ranch, they probably have 60 cattle rustlers because they got so many lands, so many heads of cattle.
They're not riding like a quad or four-wheelers and shit like that. They're actually,
well, Yellowstone, they have a helicopter even. Like, they have a helicopter that, like, rides over, like, when fences break and cattle get out. But you still got to you have dogs. You have Australian Shepherds that herd cattle. You have cattle rustlers they're ranch hands is what they're called. But, that's like, okay, so there you go. As a new ranch hand, one of the first things you have to do is to keep your job, basically. And if you want to like move up the hierarchy of being a ranch hand, you need to learn how to cattle rustle. Like, riding. So, cause that incorporates everything: riding, taking care of your horse, being able to steer the cattle, knowing the property and where we're heading them to. Yeah, it's a big thing, man. Yeah. Cowboy shit, dog.
Knowledgeable, dude. Yeah. I think you're lying, but that's cool.
That is the best, most well-constructed lie of all time.
I've watched Tombstone 100 times. I've never seen a fucking helicopter. Not one time in that show.
Tombstone? Yeah, motherfucker, because they wasn't around then.
Yeah, but that's when cowboys were around. There are no cowboys left.
We just established I think horses, you can be a cowboy.
I think there's a country song that says there are no cowboys left.
Well, you got me there because I don't listen to it.
I'm not sure.
Because I think it's fucking garbage.
Somebody can Google that. Though. Where have the Cowboys gone? I think that's what it's called.
Well, yeah, it sounds stupid, but
Well, country singers would know.
they're out west, obviously. You know who wrote that song? They were in New York.
No, I think it's
they were hitting people with rocks and throwing slingshots at them because they can't defend themselves. So.
I should have. Hulk Hogan had a mustache. You can't deny his coolness.
Okay, I mean it was not.
You can't deny these people, huh?
It wasn't a great mustache.
It was a pretty fucking cool mustache. The handlebar mustache.
I mean, man, when you say cool mustache, it makes me want to laugh every time because it's like the most obtuse oxymoron I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Well, hang on. I like this. This shows what a hypocrite you are.
Okay.
For the first fucking 10 years that I knew you, you had a fucking mustache. And we made fun of you all the time for having a fucking mustache.
Hey, yeah. Rightly so.
Well, but we were young.
It just shows
now
the
that
level
we're
of
older,
love that y'all had for me, because a good friend, like I tried to do you and Doug when we were at Sixes.
Nobody ever said, "Hey, Travis, shave that and grow a beard."
Things on your face. I tried to tell you guys, I get it. It's November. We can't wear beards, but you still have to go home for fucking 48 hours. So, and you look ridiculous. You still have to go to Kroger. You still have to do shit with your kids. You still have to do things in civilian life with a fucking a gross, goofy ass handlebar mustache. And I told you all that because I cared about you all. For 10 years that you knew me, you didn't care enough to go, Trav, dude.
No, I mean,
you got to shave that motherfucker off.
Yeah, but I never said, hey, grow a beard. Either.
Because we couldn't.
I'm just saying, I wish you could grow a beard. Yeah, never said that. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. You're hating on all these mustaches, but you totally went around for fucking like you were the shit for 10 years. So.
Yeah, no, what?
People can read it.
I obviously wasn't because I had a mustache.
I'm just saying. So you say you've matured from that?
I have a beard.
Yes. Hang on. When you had a mustache, were you able to grow a beard? And I don't mean SOP.
Yes.
Physically, were you able to? I think you probably were lacking enough testosterone to probably grow a beard.
I probably could have grown a beard in my third trimester in my mom's fucking belly. I had that much testosterone.
That's actually what I was going to say myself.
Stole it. Stole that joke.
Who else?
But so now that we've established that beards are cooler.
Dude, beards are like cosmetics or makeup for dudes. Seriously, it's like it changed. Yeah. I mean, it changes your entire appearance. And then when that guy shaves, if he's had a beard longer than 3 years and he shaves his face, people are like, "What the fuck,
dude?" So before I got in the fire department, I had a goatee. Everybody was like, "No, man, dude, you look just like Mark McGuire. You look just like Mark McGuire." Because, Mark McGuire was the big thing then, right? And then I get on the fire department, and I had to shave it. Like, I didn't even wait till I got on. I shaved it for my interview because I knew I couldn't go in with a goatee, so I just went ahead and shaved it all. And all my friends, huh?
You didn't even have the mustache then when you tried out?
I shaved it off. I was clean shaven because, per SOP, per grooming standards, whatever. Sure. I know you can have a mustache, but I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna show them how clean shaven and fucking squared away I am right here. And all my friends were like, what the fuck did you do? Because I had a big, thick ass goatee. I mean, I've been growing it for a couple years,
Yeah.
So, huh?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, well, case in point, Abraham Lincoln. Like when he was trying out, or when he was becoming president, he was clean shaven. And I mean, he's not a good looking dude at all.
Oh, Abe Lincoln is he's kind of like handicapped looking in a way. Just not saying anything against handicapped people. I'm sure there's good looking handicapped people out there. I'm just saying he looked like he had something wrong with him.
Yeah. But so like when he was becoming president or whatever, some little girl, I think she was like 11 years old, was like, wrote him and was like, hey man, like you're basically you're ugly as fuck, man. You need to grow a beard so people will accept you.
God damn it.
And what?
I should have worn my Tactical Abe shirt.
Shut up.
What? I love that shirt because of that. Man, I'm getting fucked up.
Mm.
just so you know.
I'm not drinking.
drunk.
I'm not even drinking anything.
Well,
Coffee.
that's your fault. That's not my fault.
There's a reason, which we ain't even got into yet.
Well, go ahead. So Abe Lincoln.
No. So anyway, so Abraham Lincoln, basically, he wouldn't have been president had he not grown a beard, right? But no, hang on, I ain't done. But he didn't have a mustache. He shaved. He didn't have the mustache. He just had the fucking Shenandoah, chin curtain, whatever fucking. So my point is that slavery probably would have been taken care of a lot better if he had a mustache, because he would have been a better guy. Like, I'm not saying he fucked everything up, but he definitely didn't resolve all of the issues. Yeah. And I think with a complete facial hair or with just a mustache, he'd have been okay.
I'm pretty sure that
he
would have did a better job if I pulled him out of the grave this morning. He would do a better job of getting Americans out of Afghanistan right now than the current president.
My kids would do a better job.
That's just me. So really, really quick, because I have something on the mustache part in the beard, and you know I do because I told you about it already. So Steve, hey brothers, I've missed you guys. Been tied up with my mom for the last 3 months. She passed recently, but I'm back and growing my beard. First, very, very sorry for your loss, Steve. I hope she's in a better place, and I hope you're doing well with it. B, fuck yes, dog. Grow your fucking beard. Next time I see you, I want to see fucking Viking Johnny Appleseed Steve. Serious questions. So what's great about a beard other than saying it's fucking awesome or badass?
Thank you.
Okay. What else is there to say?
Fecal matter.
Like fecal matter don't get in the fucking... How does fecal matter get in your beard if it don't get in your mustache? You know how fecal matter gets in your beard? Because
I know how it gets in your beard.
People, dirty motherfuckers don't wash their hands, i.e. you, and you do this, and you get poop in your beard. Or you do this, hey, that even looks gay. What looks cooler? Hey, if you're watching the live stream right now, what looks cooler? This or this? Goofy. That's what makes it better.
Yeah, see, I always thought it was hang on.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
I gotta get to my point. So you're talking about the mustache, no mustache and a beard. The Amish, you know, if you notice the Amish, they have beards but no mustache.
Sure.
And that is because when they come here from Austria, the Germans tried to force them, they're pacifist. So they were trying to force Amish into the military, and apparently most of the German soldiers had mustaches. So that is the reason to this day Amish do not wear a mustache. And it's not so much as the more I did research, it's not so much as in defiance of Germany and like that whole shit show. It's like because they're pacifist and they don't have a mustache. It's kind of like a anti-military thing. Which, okay, glad you came to America, home of the free, and the American military lets you keep your weird ass shit going on. But whatever.
I thought it was something in the Bible.
No, it's not.
No.
Well, no. Yeah. No. Pretty sure. No. I researched it. Well, Ed Sedlock just went to Michigan, which has a huge Amish community. He was telling me the story. And then in research for the show, which I already had that in my notes, but then I found another thing that said why the Amish doesn't have mustaches. So Brandon Hawkins said,
There is a verse.
Showed up to my interview for the fire department with a full beard, was complimented on it for balls showing up with one. Beards show grit and manliness.
Well, hang on, I got one question.
Agree, can't grow one.
I got one.
Damn right. Skull.
Is he a fireman? Is this guy a fireman?
Yeah, he's a fireman.
Who is it? Who was it?
Brandon Hawkins. He's a fireman.
Oh my God, this fucking guy again? This guy's gonna wind up killing me.
This motherfucker he can fucking chime in anytime he wants to.
Oh yeah, because he's always on your side. Especially now that I made fun of him last time.
Hey, men back up men. We don't back up men with mustaches. That's just.
I'll see you at Kroger tomorrow,
bro.
Hawkins. I'll see you at Kroger tomorrow.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Audrey says, have you men not realized that women do not like beards, especially in the bedroom? So do you want to feel cool to your bros or do you want to get laid?
That's a really good point.
Is it?
It is a good point, actually. Yeah. And I know you guys probably got some statistics and you probably looked up.
Oh my God. Thank you for reminding me. I was actually about to start arguing, but I should have checked my mag because I have ammo.
Oh my God.
Actually, it's in favor of. I take that back. It's not in favor of mustaches. It is in favor of facial hair. Okay, 33% of women think facial hair makes a man look more mature. Yeah, no shit. We're not fucking 12. Stupid. 22% feel like it makes you more masculine. True. 26% think you're more sexy. So, yeah, I'm getting laid. Bro.
You're married.
And I'll tell you this. So, like, it's like, and Josh, you'll not want to agree with me, but you will. Oh, and Brandon said, watch your six, brother.
I'll see him.
Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say now. Anyway, it's like you're going to have girls that go, oh my God, that guy's got muscles. How disgusting. He's all into himself. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of chicks that like guys with muscles. There's a lot of chicks that like guys with dad bods. There's a lot of chicks that like dudes that have bald heads. I'll never understand that one myself. You know, but there's a lot of chicks that like dudes with bald heads. That's weird to me.
There's a lot of older dudes with beards that like other dudes. Bears, I think they call them, don't they?
Bears? Or are they cubs?
Bears.
Oh, they're bears. Are they black bears or grizzly bears?
Doesn't matter. It's a bear.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh,
no.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless we break the bears down themselves, we just say bear. It doesn't matter. Still.
Are you just trying not to discriminate against bears, or is there a rationale?
I'm just saying, and that's where I thought the fecal matter came from. Was like
bears
blowing dudes. No, like that's where I thought it came from. Actually, they did a study.
Fecal matter in the mustache came from blowing dudes. It probably did on your mustache.
Yeah. From what? A mustache?
No, you were correct. From your mustache. Yeah.
That's anatomically not correct.
Oh, so correct.
No, your mustache.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it in my head right now.
Which way are you laying?
Butthole needs to be. Your mustache is tickling my butthole. Yes, I can. That is anatomically so correct.
You're probably like hanging from on swings or something. That's how you do that.
Whatever. I mean, cool. Whatever you got to do to get fecal matter in your mustache, motherfucker. That has nothing to do with the beard, LOL. Would you like girls' face or other parts to be a big-ass bush? No, you don't. You don't know that. You do not know that. I might like the old 70s bush.
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no?
Yeah, I'm going to say you. I do know. I'd say you probably say no. You don't prefer hair on a woman's face or...
I don't. No, I don't like hair on a woman's face for 1,000 other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like my women to be masculine. Okay, femininity is not expressed that way, so that's why I don't like women to have beards. That's a fucking moronic question to begin with. And you don't know that I don't like a good old 70s bush to go down on. And while I'm down there, I may not like I know the racing stripe and the bald, the shave is the thing. Okay. That's cool. Whatever. it's still peanut butter and jelly. Everybody loves peanut butter and jelly. So it doesn't matter if there's a little something on it. You're still going to fucking eat it probably.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
But
All
if
right.
there is a big ass fucking hedgehog down there, I might just go ahead and get down anyway.
As in hedgehog, you mean dick.
See,
Right.
only a guy with a mustache says that. Only a guy
Anyway,
with a mustache says that.
Yeah. So basically, is what we're saying here is that beards, mustaches, there's ebbs and flows throughout history when, like, they were popular, when they went out of popularity and come back and all of that shit, right?
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yes.
So there's been a preference throughout history. Like, it's no right or wrong answer here.
No, well, so it's really hard to distinguish between mustaches and beards anyway. Like, because through the history, beards, mustaches, they do all the things that I mentioned in the poll. They exude manliness. They exude maturity. They display a established man through history.
Yeah, they say that, like, cultures that were predominantly male tend to have more facial hair because they're not necessarily competing for the other gender. They're competing for the top of masculine status among other men. And obviously that shows more testosterone, and just manliness in general. Right.
Yeah, it exudes confidence, power. I mean, it goes above all that.
Like, you're more confident now with a beard.
What's that?
You feel like you're more confident with a beard now?
Yeah, because I like my beard, and that makes me feel more self-confidence. So therefore, I exude and display more confidence. If that was possible before, I was pretty confident, clean shaven, but yeah.
They used to take. I've seen something where they used to like, they were so against beards. I think it was Julius Caesar. They used to take clamshells because they didn't have razors or whatever, and literally rip their hair out of their face. That's true.
This is guys. If you're listening to this, I apologize. This is
Google it. It's true.
This is totally made up.
No, it's true.
No,
absolutely true.
It's not. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Google it. Clamshells. Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar's.
Oh my
clamshell.
God.
That's a.
Is that an Olive Garden? Can I get that at Olive Garden?
Well, remember Artie said that shit?
Yes, I do. Did he have a Julius Caesar or a Grandma Caesar? Oh my God, motherfucker! You know that's not a real Caesar. I know. I'm just kidding. No, you're not.
No, he wasn't kidding. He thought
he wasn't kidding at all.
Thing.
He wants to be on the show so bad.
He's retired now, so.
Oh, I mean,
not part of that.
It might be a good guess, actually. We could make fun of him, and he could, like, shit on all the white hats. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Josh.
That'll be you all. I like our administration.
Sorry, Josh. Mustache, motherfucker.
So basically, anyway, there's no right.
So, with the history of mustaches and beards, actually, with the fire service. Now, this is anecdotal, and what I mean by that, it's like there's really no, like, this isn't confirmed, so fact checkers suck a dick. But apparently, back in the day, firefighters all of them had beards and mustaches. Because what they would do is they would dip them in water, put them in their mouth, and breathe the filtered air through their beards as they went in and fought fire.
Yeah.
Now, of course, as technology and everything advanced, SCBA mask and everything, that's one of the reasons most firefighters and military, for that matter, I think the Navy's one of the exceptions, but they have grooming standards, and one of the reasons we can't grow beards is because of our SCBA and affecting the seal.
Yeah, so they came out like gas mask and shit like that in the World War. I guess when the military changed their policy too, when they started having to use gas mask, they didn't get a seal. So it's probably along the same lines.
Well, it is, but like a lot of grooming standards, uniform standards, they're not about grooming standards and uniform standards. You know what I mean? There's a bigger picture that A, you're keeping everybody uniform. B, you're keeping them professional looking. But C, there is a routine that it puts you in doing all these things, getting your uniform ready for inspection, being groomed every day at 8:00, at 0800, all these things, they induce a culture is a reason that a lot of people, a lot of branches of the military and fire and police for that matter, we have grooming standards, because what you'll do is when you got a company, let's just say you got a company that's getting out of control, like i.e. Truck 4 when Josh was there. Like these motherfuckers did whatever they wanted to do. They never wore their gear. They never, they didn't give a shit. They were cowboys. Ooh, yeah, damn.
Ooh,
they used to call y'all cowboys. That's
nobody
why
likes
you
them.
hate cowboys so bad. I fucking figured it out. All right. So what they would do is when you had some companies getting out of line, they would start hammering the dumb shit. Grooming standards, safety procedure, coming by and doing bedroom inspection. They would come by and do all this shit. And it wasn't because we really need you to make your fucking bed. It wasn't that. It was, hey guys, this is what we got to do. You ain't doing the little shit. You ain't going to do the big shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fall in line. Yeah.
Fall in line, motherfucker. Fall in line. Then November comes around and all these goofy motherfuckers start growing the ridiculous handlebar mustaches that were highly out of regulation because it could only come a quarter of an inch past the corner of your lip, i.e. my co-host, his handlebar came down to his butt chin, and it's like, God damn it.
And one guy on the whole fire department said something.
Did they?
One guy.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh my
One
God.
Dude. He was in our class, so.
Brant?
No, fuck no. I wouldn't have cared.
I was going to say, he's gone. So he must, Stinson.
No, they're all still gone. I mean, I hadn't, this is back when it doesn't matter. But anyway, nobody said anything, and it's kind of like, these guys all do a good job. I mean, do we really need to pick on them for these little infractions when they're doing a hell of a fucking job?
Well,
everything else they do.
Right. Well, I mean, look at your tier 1 guys. I mean, that's one of the reasons that they have lax grooming standards and everything, is because they're pretty fucking squared away dudes, and they've proven that through their career. So they've kind of, I don't say earned that right, but they have. They call it being mission ready, but so if you're doing your job, then nobody should be bitching at you about grooming standards, bedroom. Is that a legal shirt? I think we only wear that shirt during, the pink shirts we used to wear during Cancer Month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
May. Like, oh yeah, you can't wear that shirt unless it's May. And, they would do, the Carhartts. The Carhartt jackets that, well, we are a dive team. Well, but it's not an SOP that says y'all can wear these Carhartts, and you got to be on the river if you're wearing them. Just dumb shit.
Cool.
Colonel Nally, fucking Nally, this cocksucker. Like it would be fucking below freezing. This motherfucker got on me at fucking midnight one night because we stopped in to get fuel at headquarters. I was working a detail at Engine 5 Tower 2. And we get out to get fucking fuel. We had been on a car fire. I was hot and sweaty because I had all this fucking shit on. I take my bunkers off. I got sweatpants. He loses his mind. But that's the kind of douchebag that does shit like that. I'll call him a fucking douchebag to his fucking face.
No, you
bull fucking
would you?
Shit.
I'm gonna set that shit up.
Set it up, motherfucker. I'll tell him. He knows I'll fucking tell him.
Well, I think a lot of guys, not to get off on another tangent, but I mean, it's hard to solve hard problems, you know, like the difficult things, like say morale or, other big problems that you see in the fire service. But it's easy to fix a guy's socks, like so I think some guys tend to attack those things because they don't know how to solve big problems. So they become the uniform guy, or they become the, haircut guy, or the, it just, I don't know. It's silly to me, and I get it too. Like you said, if you're not taking care of the little things, other shit tends to unravel. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there are two ways of thinking on that. And I feel like it's somewhere in the middle, but.
Well, and it's also how you look at it too. I mean, this was my example that I use. This is a colonel addressing a firefighter.
Which shouldn't take place anyway.
Never.
There's a chain of command up and down.
Yep. And guess what? Oh, I'm breaking an SOP. You fucking are too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And guess what you also did? Everybody that you just fucking did that in front of, they all look at you like you're a fucking douche and a fucking hypocrite. But he goes to bed at night, sleeping well. Most of those fuckers do. That's the bad thing, is there's no, and we get another fucking conversation about that shit, but there's no oversight of that group.
I mean, like an infraction from up to down, meaning.
Exactly. When's the last time you seen a district chief get in trouble? We've all seen them do dumb shit, fucked up shit that we would get rolled up for. We've all seen colonels break fucking SOP. No one ever, when's the last time they were ever put on charges? Happens all the fucking time. But guess who gets put on charges? You will. You'll be up for demotion. I will. Can't demote me nowhere. But, I mean, that's when I was on the job because I was just a firefighter. But, I might get days off or something. But then a district chief goes and violates 2 or 3 different SOPs on a fucking working structure fire. Nothing's ever fucking said to him. Colonels do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, wait a minute.
I too have broken plenty of rules on a daily basis. I mean, you can't follow everything, and I get away with it,
Okay.
So I'm just saying, it kind of works both ways.
It doesn't work both ways because you got somebody watching you.
Yeah.
Again, when's the last time you seen a district chief or a colonel get in trouble? Never. You've never seen it. I didn't see it in 22 years. You ain't seen it in 23 years.
Trying to think.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
Happened. Sure, it's happened. But
if it was the rank and file, you could come up with 20 right off the top of your head.
Yeah.
But we can't. There's that's the. Jordan Peterson talks about the hierarchy, and the thing about hierarchy is the higher they get, we elevate people that solve problems, okay? Because society groups, we want to see society workplaces need people that can solve problems. So you elevate those people, i.e. chain of command, i.e. promotion, blah blah blah. Now you've got this people at the top, you got the disenfranchised at the bottom, which are firefighters, sergeants, whatever. And now you've got no voice. You got no voice here. Okay. The union should be a voice. It's usually not, especially when it comes to shit like that, because they don't want to fucking rock the boat of the uppers, because they're trying to get there too for most of them. All ulterior motives, right? But you've got nobody watching the top, so they fucking run amok. So guess what happens to the disenfranchised? Oh, we're getting more disenfranchised. You know what I mean? And I also think that's what stems a lot of guys wanting to be promoted, because they feel like, yeah, the shit runs downhill, but it might just run here. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't agree with all this entirely.
Okay. Well, what don't you agree with?
Yeah, I don't see it so extreme like you're painting it out to be. Most of the guys that I see get in trouble that are outside of the command staff have usually done some pretty fucking dumb shit.
I'm not talking about those guys. You can't change the argument. You just change the entire argument. I wasn't talking about anybody outside the command staff. The command staff is exactly who I'm talking about. Because, again, for the third time, everybody outside the command staff, they will get in trouble. They do have somebody watching over them. The command staff. Who do they answer to?
I mean, there's a structure there, but you're saying that structure don't work, and it doesn't.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
gotta go work tomorrow, dude.
I know you do. I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't see
change
it. I
my
don't
argument.
see it as,
You don't have to say anything else, but just don't change my argument.
I'm not. It's what I'm saying is the people that I see get in trouble usually done some pretty dumb shit.
For
so
sure.
in my opinion, they fucking deserved it anyway.
Absolutely.
For the
No
most
argument
part.
here.
Okay. Well, and I'm just saying that you're saying that nobody above that gets in trouble. I mean, what's the last time? I mean, give an example. Somebody has done some really dumb shit that deserved, some discipline for that. Above.
Oh, okay.
Just in general, I don't want to get into
for me.
Okay.
When a district chief sees that a building is about to fucking fall, and then he tells everybody not to go in that building, but we're still fighting the structure right beside it that's 4 feet away, and the building falls and hits a guy. Are we going to talk about this? No, we won't talk about this. Okay? I.e. a Bellarmine coach dies at an apartment fire because a district chief puts the first truck in fucking RIT. We had people jumping out of the fucking windows. Did anybody address the district chief that put the first truck company on the scene in RIT? No, they didn't. Now, let a captain make that decision. I know you ain't saying nothing, and that's just two off the top of my head. Those were easy. Now, I go back 20 years and name you a bunch more. But that's the kind of shit I'm fucking talking about. Now, you and I were lucky for most of our career. We had really, really, really good district chiefs. We had really good car fives. We had really good safety officers. So, when I say I can go back 23 years and name you a bunch, I probably can't. But we were fortunate enough to work in an environment that was highly skilled, highly experienced. Okay? But you go outside of that, and there's a lot of dumb shit going on. Okay, I worked a trade one day. I'd been out in the fourth for a long time. I worked a trade one day for a guy at 22s. We're extra equipment on a fucking house fire with exposure problems. I pull in, think I'm going to be fucking Manpower. It's 21st and Bank. I was at 22s. We roll by. I looked in the alley. There's no one in the rear. And I'm like, I fucking slam on the brakes. Joe Hank was riding water. I said, fuck, Joe. There ain't nobody back here. We got to fucking lay in. And when the fire was out, what did I do? I walked up to the colonel, the district chief, and the two captains that were standing out front and asked them, are you motherfuckers too good to get in the rear of this thing? Because there was a lot of fire back here. That's what I'm saying. But there was a colonel there. He should have been asked that district chief, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, the district chief shouldn't even have to. I mean, that's company level shit. I mean, you know where the fuck you're responding to on a.
Okay, so when the company fucks up, who gets on them?
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, I don't know.
The district chief.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it was the district chief's fucking decision, who does he answer to? He should answer to the fucking colonel.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Really,
so
I mean, it's what it comes down to. Usually, is that person will. I mean, you're making decisions. Split second without a ton of information. And I'm not taking up for them, but I'm saying they're just, that level of command over a fire is difficult because you don't see the entire picture, right away.
Yeah, especially
so you're
when
making
you go in the rear, you don't see it.
Yeah. So I'm saying, I mean, so you're making calls and sometimes shit happens,
That's
dude.
101, man. You know that as well as I do. That's fire department 101. Second
Yeah,
goes to the fucking rear. 21st and Lytle. If sixes didn't in first in, which they were, then engine 2 goes to the fucking rear. They didn't. Dude, it's that shit's easy. You're making excuses, and I understand why you are.
No, I'm not making excuses. I was more talking about tactical errors that happen on a scene, like out where people actually get hurt. Like you talked about the building collapsing,
Yep.
which I know the incident you're talking about. I wasn't there, obviously, but
I was.
I know fires, and I know it's tough to see everything. You know, it's tough to know exactly what's going to happen from minute to minute. And I think sometimes people make mistakes. And I think when at that level, like at a district chief level, and a car 5 comes to that person and says, hey, you know, like what the fuck happened here, you know, and then they give their spill on, hey, I didn't see that. I wasn't getting information from the rear. I didn't know that was going on. It was,
And that
you know,
happens.
So, yeah. So, I mean, so that person isn't necessarily responsible, you know, he's responsible for the scene. I get it.
He is.
Yeah, he is. But I'm saying that sometimes shit happens in our job, and those people that were in that immediate area also should have noticed what was going on and taken some precaution, you know, as well.
So when Seamus and them were trying to fucking enter that building, I told them, hey, don't go in there. This building was fucking a loss. Anyway, they're both fucking lost, basically. But I said, don't go in there. We're going to try to get in this exposure building and knock down what's in there. They were both fucking vacant. Never. And I look back. So, see, here's the difference. I look back. Me just being a fucking knuckle dragging firefighter. I look back going, I should have told everybody, get the fucking way. I should have told everybody, get the fuck away. Fuck you. Fuck all of you when they're saying, you know, engine 16's making entry in the rear. Engine 16, are you making entry in the rear? I mean, this is command.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wait a minute. You just said this building's about to fucking go. We don't know what direction it's going to fucking go in, you know? But, you know, again, I see what you're saying, but, and I'll say it, the Louisville Fire Department has created a culture, and you're seeing it more and more, apparently, with the guys that got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years on that have to be told what to do. Like, when we were at 6s, no one had to fucking tell us what to do when we arrived on the scene. If they did, fantastic. But guess what? If we seen something else that needed to be done that we felt with our experience that took a higher priority, we did that instead.
Oh, but I think experience was a key word there.
I agree. I totally agree. Not disagreeing with that at all. But in the same token, you still have, to your point, the people that are outside that don't get to see everything, you know, they're still accountable. So I want to read a chat comment because I think it's excellent. Accountability is accountability. If you're private or an infantry company commander or even a division commander, all should be held responsible and charged accordingly. Toxic work environments are created when young enlisted men watch the senior enlisted men get away with the same shit, while the younger enlisted lose time and pay for the same shit. Simply lead by example. All men put their bunkers on the same way. And that's totally correct. Oh, and Misty Stein also agrees with me, saying Samuel L. Stash is the stashiest of them all. And it totally fucking is, Misty. It
never heard who that.
And you know, I don't know, man. I hate it because I see more and more. So I mean, like in life, like in the political spectrum, identity politics. You know, Democrats that push for fucking mask mandates, they're the last ones to fucking do them. They get on fucking planes. They have fucking birthday parties with 400 people, and the DJ posts pictures on Instagram. They're like, oh, you got to take that shit down, always wearing a mask. But you're pushing for mask mandates. It's like the hypocrisy. I hope people see right through it. And on the fire service, it's the same way. It's like, look, man, you know, you're going to get on this guy for not knowing where this hydrant was. Or you're going to get on this guy for not going down St. X when he could have bucked Bank Street. But wait a minute. I understand that. And you're right. Like, man, I fucked up, Mage. You're right. But when you fuck up, who tells you fucked up?
I hope they do, but I hope it's, kind of like that. I mean, you didn't get any, any disciplinary action. You just got something got pointed out to you that you did wrong. And that's usually in the fire service where it begins and where it ends, unless that
Should.
person is like, hey, fuck you. They buck that, argument. And it's like, and then they cause friction. And now it's a matter of egos. Now
Yeah,
you're getting
there's a
written
lot of
up,
that.
you know?
Well,
So
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, no.
And
No, go ahead.
I think it's probably the same way. I mean, clearly I'm not like a safety officer or a car five or a chief or anything like that, but I guarantee you they talk to each other and say, hey man, what the fuck was up with that deal? And I mean, it stays right there. I don't know. And in his example, I mean, we don't see that, we don't see that happening. So we're thinking, they just get away with everything, you know?
To his
So then,
example, we don't see men leading by example.
yeah,
And I'm not saying it's their fault. What I'm saying is that to his example, when you say lead by example, right? So I shouldn't be getting on you for shit that I would have done, right?
sure.
You know what I mean? And the fire department's a little weird because we deal with crazy shit all the time. Like in my last 4 years at fucking Quintin, me and Art Alexander did shit that he had never done in 30 years of his career. Water rescues on a fucking aerial ladder in fucking Beargrass Creek. Car extrications that were just fucking insane. Like shit that we've never seen before. Either one of us. So it's I get it. It's a fluid situation. You know what I mean? And like you said, it should be more like, hey, look, man, y'all did this. It should have been this. But we don't see that sometimes. It's this dude's a piece of shit because he fucked up this. And it's like, well, wait a minute, dude. The district chief's a piece of shit because he did this. But we don't see those guys put on charges. That's what I'm saying. It's optics, right? It is optics. And I understand that to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in critiques too. I mean, where we're talking a week later, where everybody's kind of going over what they did, and people are, and in an environment like that, people hopefully and usually don't have a problem, admitting what they did wrong, and even the district chief level. I mean, I've heard many a district chief say, "Hey, man, I should have had you all do this. That was my fault." That's us owning our situation, and I don't think
Oh my God.
there should have been, like, on that scene when it happened, some type of heavy disciplinary action, handed down. I don't know. I mean,
No,
I don't know what you're looking for.
I don't think any of us. I feel like the fire department, we're all men. Okay, so if a guy makes a decision that turns out not to, well, what were we taught? Making a decision is better than making no decision. That's what we've always been taught, right? Because you don't want to sit there with your thumb in your ass because time is of the essence.
Sure.
All right. So if you make a decision and it's wrong, I don't know of a firefighter worth his salt that I ever worked with that if a district chief, a colonel, I don't give a fuck, the fucking chief, come to me and said, hey, that's on me, I would be like, fuck you, motherfucker, you piece of shit, you dumbass. Never would have happened because guess what? I've made a bunch of fucking mistakes too. And I think 90% of us would be like, yeah, man, it's cool. Like, you'd have fucking 1,000 times more respect. Just like Jocko today coming out on Biden. This is what Biden should be telling the American people. I fucked up. I fucked this up. But I'm going to make it right. That's human nature. We all make mistakes. We all err. We all sin. All that other shit. But what makes us special and human is that we can change that. And everybody that I was watching today that said, talking about with Jocko's comments, they were like, well, he can't do that because then that would get every other politician ammo against him. No, motherfucker, he wouldn't. Because when's the last time you heard, so to you and your point, when's the last time you heard a district chief or a colonel say, my bad, guys. I fucked up. I fucked that up.
Yeah, not that long ago, actually. I mean,
Huh?
not that long ago, actually. I mean,
well, fucking spill.
well, no, I'm speaking in generalities. I'm not going to like point out who and what incident and all that shit. Like I said, I got to go work tomorrow.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, throughout my career, and I've said, I've heard district chiefs say, hey guys, like that was my bad. I should have had you all do this, or even I've heard district chiefs say, hey, good catch on that to like a captain or even a firefighter when he was directing them to do something else and that person caught it and the district chief didn't. And, he's given, but like I said, like you said, good. We've worked with really good guys. I mean, throughout our careers. So yeah, I feel like I've had a different example than the one you're talking about. I haven't seen a lot of major fuck ups. Like I've seen enough, on incidents, but I don't say that I've ever seen anything that I thought would like require, whatever kind of discipline you're looking that the, white hats and above should get for things. I mean, I've seen them own up to a lot of stuff. I mean, really I have. I mean,
well, our experience is vastly different then.
And we've worked in the same spots.
Yeah. I guess you were ear hustling better than I was because.
No, you know me.
I see, and I didn't see it. And I'll be honest, I didn't see it a lot in the first. Maybe I'm trying to think of a time, honestly, and I really can't.
What do you mean a lot in the first?
I didn't see it a lot in the first.
We didn't make mistakes in the first.
What?
There were no mistakes made in the first district. That's
well, that's true. That's probably the reason I don't know. I can't think of any right now. That is factually correct, actually, what you're saying. But when I got out of the first, I seen it all the time. Yeah. And it was actually a kind of a, I don't want to say culture shock because I'm in the same department, but I felt like when I worked a trade or overtime on another shift, another district, it was a different fire department. And I'm like thinking, God damn, like feeling thankful that I work on the first platoon in the first district because we don't do none of this dumb shit you all do. You know what I mean? But I'm glad you feel like that the white hats have your best interest at heart. I'm glad you feel that the white hats are all knowing and they make no mistakes. I'm glad to know that. Like I don't
think I said any of that, but
is that what you said?
Oh, I ain't close. No, I ain't close. I mean, they're just like me, is what I'm saying. Is I make mistakes, they make mistakes. I mean,
yeah, but they're not paid. How much more are they paid than you?
Don't fucking mean anything to me. I mean,
it don't mean anything to you, but it should, because they shouldn't make those mistakes.
I don't think pay equals. Yeah.
Sorry, you cut out. Did you freeze? I think you froze. Sorry, guys. I think you froze for a minute. Oh no, he didn't freeze. He's thinking. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Yeah, I didn't say any of that, but I'm just saying we all make mistakes, dude. It all happens, in a job like this.
It does. But it's different when I make a mistake and there's a motherfucker always watching over me to tell me I made a mistake.
Well, see, but I don't look at it like that.
I know, because you think there's this.
I don't look at it.
There's this group of people that walk the steps of knowledge upstairs on Jefferson Street that say, hey, heard about that fire the other day. You really shouldn't let that building fall on one of our guys. I know. I'm sorry. You're right. Blah, blah, blah. Like, we don't see that.
No. I look at it as my responsibility. Like, it's my responsibility to, take care of my own safety. I don't look at it as the district chief or safety or any of these other guys are exclusively responsible for what I do or what I'm responsible for or, how I do it or any of that shit. So usually if there's a mistake made, I made it, they didn't make it. So I don't look at it like that. I don't, like that, like you were talking about the building collapse. That's partially my job is to look out for that kind of shit especially if I'm operating in that area. I mean, it's my job to my safety is my responsibility first.
Not,
So,
I love how you change the argument.
I'm just
It's
saying.
fucking hilarious how
You're talking about discipline.
Are you a Democrat? I feel like you're a fucking closet Democrat.
I ain't changing the
No
argument.
one said you're not responsible for your own safety, because I think
No, I
I've
know.
made the point pretty clear. If you're leaving your safety in the hands of somebody above you, then you're fucked. Then you're probably not very safe at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, your safety is always your first priority. Your safety. Okay? But I'll tell you this, and I seen you dive out of a fucking window when the floor was disintegrating. When we came out, we were the first company in, and we told you all the floor's burning out because the fire's not on the first floor, it's in the basement. And you all said, Howder wants an interior attack. And you all went in anyway. I wish Artie was here right now. This would have been a great fucking episode to have Artie on. But you went in anyway because you were worried about your own fucking safety.
Oh,
and then what'd you do? Then what'd you do?
Jump back in the window.
You what?
I jumped back in the window, actually.
No. You skipped a part. You skipped a whole fucking part.
Which part are you talking
about? The part when y'all were coming in, when we were coming out, and we told you all not to go in, and you went in anyway. What did you do?
Yeah, we went in.
And then what did you do? You love telling the story. I love how you're playing dumb now.
No, I really don't. I really don't know what you're getting at. I mean, we went in. Okay, I do remember this fire you're talking about. It was off of Bank Street, right?
Bank Street, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we went in. I mean, there was fire through the floor, which is not uncommon. I mean, fuck. We did have a guy fell through the floor. He got picked up out of the floor. I do remember that.
Before that, what did you do?
The stairwell burnt out and it started collapsing. That's whenever we all backed out and I jumped out the window.
And you jumped out the window. You love to call it your ninja roll out of the fucking
Steve
window.
Spratt calling it my ninja roll. That's where that came from.
I think it was you. But anyway, we told you not to fucking go, but Howder wanted a fucking interior attack.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we can talk about that.
No, that's my point.
Well, we can talk about that. No, well, I think though. Okay, so
but you're responsible for your own safety. You're contradicting yourself.
You're talking about fucking how long ago? Probably fucking 15 years ago.
Okay, 30 years ago.
When my experience, because my experience and my level is completely different now. And I'm talking about present time. Back then, yeah, I probably did rely more on what the district chief said, especially somebody that I respected like that told me, hey, because I remember that fire. This is exactly, I got off, I think I was detailed a 22's engine that day, and I got off and was pulling a 5-pack off. and I was walking right past Howder, and in his wisdom, he goes, what are you doing? I was like, I'm gonna lay his 5-pack. He goes, get in there. And I was like, fuck, okay. So I dropped that and went and grabbed the 1 3/4, and we went around to the back and made entry. So yeah, on my first thoughts were like, this is probably going to be defensive. There was fire out every window, every floor. And Howder's, I've talked to Howder about that fire several times. And that's one fire that he said, I wish I would have done that a little bit different. And he felt like he was lucky nobody got hurt.
Well, again,
but then he also followed up. Yeah, but then he also followed up with, but I know you guys and we've all worked together a long time and I know what you're capable of. And I trusted that, and the fire did go out. I mean, we did put it out.
Yep.
Took a little bit of time, and yeah, there were some close calls.
Yep.
And also at that time in my career, I was relying on people above me for my safety.
Okay. Okay. To your point, what is the? So you were the Mr. You're responsible for your own safety a second ago. Yeah. So now I'm trying to determine what year or what level of experience do I need before I'm not relying on the fucking white hats for my safety.
Well, I can say this: the sooner the better.
Well, no shit.
The sooner you can reach that point, the better.
That's profound, brother.
Right. I mean, but it's.
See, that's what. you're making my
you
point
can't,
for me. I feel like
I can't put a number on that. You can't put a, it'd be arbitrary if I picked a number, a year, amount of
No,
fighters.
you're making my point for me.
But I know when it happened for me. I mean,
right.
Yeah. So,
but the department's fucking young and they don't have that experience. And they're going to have guys that make them do dumb shit because they're not being fucking held accountable. That's my whole fucking point. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic when the average service of the fire department is 18 years, which is never going to fucking happen. And these guys can think, hey, fuck that. This is not safe. You know what I mean? So that's my point. Like, we need accountability at the leadership level.
Okay. You think that accountability will solve all these problems?
Oh, what problems?
All these problems you just mentioned. I mean, will accountability, well, the young department, level experience, getting to the point that I was talking about in my career.
Yeah. Better leadership? Absolutely. Better leadership is going to fucking lead to a bunch of less problems.
Well, I think good leadership and accountability for mistakes are a little bit different. I mean, yeah, I agree with good leadership, but they're kind of separate. I mean,
good leadership and mistakes are separate?
No, you said mistakes. No, that's not what you said.
No, I didn't. I know what I said. What
are you saying? What'd you say? I bet you don't know.
No,
you've been drinking a lot.
Either. Sorry, I'm not Della, dude. That's not working on me.
Discipline.
I know exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that better leadership leads to less mistakes. And if you don't have people being held accountable at the leadership level for their mistakes, they're not going to be good leaders. You're saying it's two different things, and it's not.
I'm saying they work together, but they are kind of separate things. I mean, they don't. I mean, yeah, they are they work together. Synergistically, they can work together.
Okay.
But if they have great leadership, then, I mean.
So you could with your theory, you could have a great leader that puts people in fucking danger 9 times out of 10. To your point.
I don't even understand what the fuck's going on now.
I know you don't. I mean, a great leader is going to, he's going to risk assess every incident, every scene.
Sure.
Yeah. So if he's being held accountable, if I kept saying, get in there, guys, fucking get in there, get on that second floor. I know the fire's blowing out every window. I know the fucking roof's spongy. Get up there and do it. You're going to fucking do it. Most guys are going to fucking do it because that's what we do. We take orders. Fuck, well, he's a district chief. He knows more than I do. I've only been on 3 roofs in my whole career. I'll get up here. Oh, shit, I fell through. I'm dead. But again, does it take someone getting killed for someone to be held accountable? We've all heard the story about Straw Nutter. Like, it was a roof maybe he shouldn't have been on. He was ordered to be up there. I mean, that's, Louisville Fire Department has been fucking extremely lucky when it comes to this shit. That's the reason I feel like we're on borrowed time. And the shit that I've seen in my last 4 or 5 years, it makes me feel like it's sooner than later. Hope I'm fucking wrong. Pray I'm wrong. But not saying we don't have good leaders. I'm saying there's no oversight. And there's no one saying, hey, why were we in these buildings? We thought this one was going to fall. Why were we? And to your point, maybe that's happening. And that's the only way people are going to get better, right? It's the only way people are going to get better if their mistakes are pointed out to them. And even if they didn't make any mistakes, what if this happened? Okay? I'm saying that with good leadership, there is accountability. Not from the bottom, not the subordinates, which I hate that fucking term, but from on themselves as well.
Sure, I agree with that. But
okay,
I think that it's not all the same. Like you're talking about leadership mostly. So I mean, how are you going to mold this great leadership that you see is lacking in the fire service? Like what implements are missing to have this great leadership that you see isn't there? What do you do?
Accountability.
Say it's your job.
If I have a theme of what I'm saying tonight, it's accountability.
So you think accountability exclusively creates good leaders?
Again, you put a word in my mouth that I didn't say. I never said
you've been doing to me all night.
I never said exclusively. I said accountability.
That's what I'm asking you to expand on that. So if I was to come to you, Travis Jones, and say, hey, it's your job, I want you to mold great leaders for this fire department, mm-hmm. How would you go about doing that?
Oh, fuck. It's fucking, to me, it's easy. There would be a lot more training for company commanders.
Okay.
There would, what position am I in?
You have to do this for the whole fire department.
Oh, okay. So I'm the chief.
I
get to play chief.
You're the man.
I'm the fucking man.
You got the answers.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my car 2 or my safety officer. He's going to report to me on every fire scene. And I'm going to promote somebody, because it's appointed. I'm going to promote somebody there that is going to give me an honest assessment of what's going on. A, District Chief A and B, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I.e., they're going to need more fucking training. Okay? Critiques are going to be mandatory company-wide. Every fucking house fire that is a full box, I'm not talking about a one-roomer, which we could do that too, but I'm talking about a full box house fire, confirmed house fire, rescues or not, is going to be critiqued, especially with the quints and all that shit. Why didn't the quint do this? Why didn't the quint do that? Well, a quint can do all kinds of fucking things, but you only staff it with 4, so you're going to get this. Okay? So there's going to be critiques everywhere. All right? That district chief's going to have to report that critique to my fucking subordinates. It's fun to say. I don't like the term, but it's still fun to say. And then we're going to go accordingly. I can't be an absentee chief. I can't be around fucking, once a fucking week to know all this shit. And I got to put people in place that are going to share my school of thought. It's like being a coach on a basketball team. You have to get guys to buy into your philosophy. Okay? And our philosophy is, I don't know, everybody goes fuck home. If there's a vacant structure with no exposure problems, fuck it. It's bulldozed in 2 weeks. Surround and drown it. Surround and fucking drown it. Okay? If it's anything other,
how do you know?
I know Louisville prides itself on being an interior attack division, which we should be. I do feel like that is, honestly, it sounds crazy, but the safest method of firefighting is an aggressive interior attack. But again, when there's a structure weakened on one side and you have exposure problem, surround and drown it. Who gives a fuck? Everybody comes home tonight. We do the job the best we fucking can.
Except for what? I mean,
what do you mean, except for what?
I mean, everybody comes home, meaning just us or the people that we serve too. I mean, we've probably pulled more people out of.
So we're not. I'm sorry. Did I say we weren't going in on rescues? Did I say that?
You said surround and drown on,
vacant structures. That's what I said.
Okay. Well, how do you fucking know it's vacant? I mean, that's my point. We've probably pulled more people out of vacant structures in the last 10 years than we have occupied structures. And that's fucking across the nation, pretty common. So until you...
I disagree with that wholeheartedly, 1,000%.
You can disagree, but it's fucking true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's true.
There may have been squatters that started a fire, but I can't think of a vacant structure I ever made in Portland, maybe other than 1 or 2 times that there happened to be somebody in there. And with RIT now... Okay, so you can't deviate from fucking RIT without a confirmed rescue. So they're dead anyway. So I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like you're trying to make an argument to make yourself correct.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, what am
I think that's the point of an argument. I mean, yeah, I'm going to try to prove that what I'm saying is true. Of course, the same as you're doing. I mean, that's what a fucking argument is. I mean, but we're
I
going to put somewhere in the middle.
well, you just asked me. So it's funny. Again, you're
I
changing the
asked
argument. You asked me what I would do to implement the fire department's mind. What would you do? What would you do to change all this stuff? And I just gave you fucking 4 reasons right off the fucking bat.
Yeah,
and
you
now it's I'm leaving people to die in fucking house fires.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of it. I mean, I do. I mean, I think a culture that switches to that is not a positive culture change. You know, I mean, I don't think that's good. I mean, there have been departments that do that, and I've read articles on it and everything else. I mean, it's just not a good thing for a culture to do, is to switch to surround and drown, type culture on structures without doing some type of assessment of search or.
Oh my God, that's not whatever. What I said. I didn't say surround and drown.
It is what you said. It is what you said.
Vacant structures.
Yeah, I'm talking about fucking vacant
problems. I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That's not a philosophy. That is a certain event. It's not a philosophy. And I guess I froze when I said interior structural firefighting, aggressive interior structural firefighting is still the safest way. Did you miss that?
I agree. No, I totally agree with that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
but then you're omitting vacant structures from that. You're saying vacant structures don't fit that attack just because it's vacant. But what's vacant? Just because doesn't mean it's not occupied. I mean, it doesn't mean there's not somebody in there. And just because you're saying in your experience you haven't seen, many that were in vacant structures, I don't know how that's true, but I mean, I'm
still going to leave stuff up to a captain's discretion. Like
what?
Huh?
Oh, you mean like attacks? Yeah, like searching and shit like that. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That okay. Well, that changes the whole thing. You're talking about.
So
what I believe would be a culture change.
Blanket rule for all structural firefighter.
Yes, and there are fucking departments. There are departments out there that do that. There are departments out there that do that. So when you say that, that's what it means to me. Yes. Now you're going back and saying that it's going to be up to the discretion of basically the people on scene. I totally agree.
Yes,
yeah, I totally agree.
I misspoke. I should have said that to begin with. That if a captain feels like an aggressive attack on a vacant structure that is called in vacant, we don't have any confirmed rescue, then that captain can make an interior attack. Again, I've already said this. It's safer to make an aggressive interior attack than let it fucking get going. Okay? But if he feels like it's not, let it fucking go.
Okay. Yeah. And then you mentioned critiques across the board for all, and I agree. I mean, I think that's an important thing, but, then the oversight of how that's ran. I mean, because, many critiques are just like people pretty much saying what needs to be said and getting out of there and not being honest and not actually trying to learn something.
We don't have them?
We do have them.
No, I'm saying because of your reasoning, we shouldn't have them then.
What?
I mean, most of the critiques I had in the first were great.
No, I'm all for critiques on way more than just fires. There should be critiques on all different kinds of incidents. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's a huge part of the fire department, especially because there's no other chance that you're going to get all of the people together that was on the scene that had all these different perspectives and did all these different jobs into one place so that each can kind of work through what the problem was and what they seen and see what we did right, see what we did wrong, and how we can better ourselves and our department and the future, education of,
for sure.
I mean, hell, just the fire service in general. So no, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have them. I'm fucking have always been for critiques, or even just, huh?
Yeah, I know you have.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's important. But like I said, just saying that we're going to do critiques isn't enough. And the only reason I'm making
that argument, saying that there should be like an outlined format.
Well, I mean, there is in our SOPs, but I mean, I'm just saying a lot of people get in there. We have a critique SOP, dude. That a lot of people just get in there and they just, they don't necessarily own up to what was wrong or, whatever. So it's like we get there and it's like, Everything went right. Okay, guys, great job. See you later. This is bullshit. I mean,
So
that happens.
Pat's in the chat. Pat, there's an SOP on critiques? I would love to fucking see that. Because I've never seen that. Love to see it. And you're right. I mean, critiques can go south. It's all who's running them. I mean, and I have to give one of my district chiefs when I was in the 4th a lot of props for one of the last critiques I had on a bowling alley we made. There was a snafu with the water situation that a lot of people were arguing about. He started the critique with, hey, we're going to have this critique today. We know there was an issue with the water, getting positive water, and we've discussed it. So we're moving on. And that was it. And it never came up again because at that point it was kind of irrelevant, right? Because everybody already talked about it. So that's the way you do them. And I mean, again, okay, Pat said there is. I mean, then I don't know why we got away from it, which not saying that's because of SOP. There's not a reason to get away from it. But I love to see what it says.
An SOP can't necessarily give all the details that it has to have for. It just says basically who has to be present and all of that shit. It's not a thorough, like, I mean, it does say something about having each company address what they did and all that kind of shit, but it just actually sitting in a room full of guys that you know who did what and you know who didn't do what, and to be able to get the honesty out of that and then make a change in either a company that's having a chronic problem or an individual that's having a chronic problem it's hard to break through. So is why I'm saying that is you being a chief and just handing an SOP or handing a memo or an email or whatever down the chain that says, hey, we're doing critiques from now on for everything, doesn't mean it's going to be quality and doesn't mean that it's going to raise the leadership level to some extreme that you're happy with.
Yeah, but again, you're saying that we shouldn't do them.
Never said that.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Now, what
I'm saying
the reason I say that is because of what you just said. Yeah, I get it. They're not always going to be ran appropriately, and that's the reason I said the first thing before I even said critiques is we need to fucking start training our district chiefs and colonels management skills. Like, fire department's great about doing everything else, but when's the last time they went to a management class to manage people? Because they're not a fucking company no more. That's not what their job is. They're managing people. They're managing companies. They're managing workers. So in doing that, if you're in the fire service, we would like to think it's a little bit more specified. Then maybe they get taught how to appropriately construct a positive critique of an incident. House fire, fucking car extrication, fucking river rescue, whatever. You know what I mean? And again, to your point, you're right. Just because we have critiques don't mean they're great. You're right. They're not. That's with anything. Doesn't mean you shouldn't fucking do it, though. So hopefully, this is a skill that they can be better at. I think that gets to the root of the problem, which is what I was talking about earlier about no one being held accountable. And you don't have to answer, but I feel like a lot of guys, we all say it, they change when they get when they get that rank, and they forget where they came from. Where does that come from psychologically? It comes from them thinking they fucking know it all already. Because they don't have anybody telling them, hey man, you fucked up. There's a lot of humility that comes with making a mistake, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But you have to be allowed.
I feel like that's a cultural problem in the Louisville Fire Department is district chiefs and up. They have nobody really, and you say that conversation happens behind closed doors that we don't see, and maybe it does.
Sure.
I don't feel like it does because it doesn't get any fucking better. And the bad district chiefs and the bad colonels stay bad for fucking a decade. And I feel like if someone was up there going, hey man, dude, you keep fucking up. Straighten up. Get your fucking self squared away and get your shit right. we would at least see some type of change in 10 years, and you don't. I hope I'm wrong.
I don't think that technique of, hey, straighten your shit up. And I know you're just speaking. I don't think that's going to fix the problem.
You're a Democrat. You're a fucking.
No, I'm just saying. Well, go back to the first part, what you said of like, where does that come from when we say people change when they get ranked? And you said that it's because they know it all. They feel like they know it all.
They're buying their own hype. Yeah.
When they get, yeah. Well, I think it's more, I don't know, from my experience and what I've seen in people, I think that, you're brand new in a rank, and that comes with greater responsibility. And you've never felt that responsibility before, to the level that you're at, and you're expected to not make mistakes. I don't think we have, well, we do have allowable mistakes. We do allow some mistakes in the fire service or whatever, so people can learn from the mistakes. But I think it's just the weight of, I have to have all the answers, and then fear creeps in. And I don't think they know it all. I think they feel like they're expected to know it all. And then they don't know how to use, I think some guys, not everybody, I think some guys don't know how to utilize their company for, the breadth of what it's meant to be from each individual's perspective. And you can't work that shit out on a fire scene, but you can work it out, like you said, in training and critiques behind closed doors, where you're getting that information from everybody. So I think that they feel the weight that I have to have all the answers, and that causes problems. So I don't think it's that they feel like they know everything. I think it's they know they don't know everything, and they feel the weight and the expectation that they should know everything from people above them.
Yeah, that's just a perspective. So, I can see that too. To Pat said there's an AAR that needs to be done after action report. I guess is what he's saying. Needs to be done after every incident. That's great, Pat. That's great. I'm glad you get to do your fucking report. Because guess what? I've never seen one. I've never had an after action report sent to my firehouse on all the house fires I've ever made, on all the car cases I've ever made. I've never seen one. I'm glad you get to do a fucking report. To my point, I love it. You keep making my point for me.
Who?
Both of you. Pat just did. That's great for you all. Y'all didn't do shit. You sat there and did the report, but you sat in your fucking buggy, or you sat in front of a fire and watched everybody fucking work, and you made your after action report. I didn't see it. What'd it say? It could have been fucking wrong. Because I tell you what, I've known some district chiefs, and I guarantee you some were fucking wrong. So that means nothing. It means nothing.
What'd he say?
It's not informal, you dumbass. It's not an official report. Oh, so what the fuck good is it? What is your point? You put it in the chat like it's, we do this. Hey, this is the way we do it, AAR. Well, that fucking doesn't mean anything, apparently. It's not even fucking formal. That's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. Keep deflecting until you motherfuckers look at yourself. There's nothing to get better. It'll never get better. It's fine. I don't give a fuck. I left. And let me tell you something. The last 2 weeks on the fucking job, I was glad I was fucking leaving. I was glad I was fucking leaving because of this shit. Just keep thinking the same shit, man. Y'all keep doing the same shit all the time, and eventually it's going to bite you in the fucking ass. And then, you know what's going to be funny then? Then everything's going to be exposed. Why do we do things this way? Why are we fighting fires like this? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? It's all going to be under a microscope then, but then guess what? It's too late because someone's already been fucking hurt.
Well, but what you just said, why are y'all doing things like this? And when you say that, I'm thinking, tactically speaking, you're addressing that. Like, why do we fight fire this way? Why do we do this that way? Right? That's what you're saying, right? Correct? Because I don't want to change the point.
I'm saying, okay, yeah, thank you.
Is that what you're saying?
That's a good question. I'm thinking there's been a lot of mistakes made on multiple incidents that are never recognized, A, by the company level, which is where it should come first, okay? And then B, at a managerial district chief level, okay, that are never addressed, okay? So very little oversight of actual, like, I don't want to say progression of an incident, but like getting better. Like we need to improve on how we do things.
Lessons learned and shit like that.
Lessons learned. There you go. Thank you. Yes, lessons learned. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like what you said about the company level. Like that is where it should start. Like, because nobody knows better. And I've said this before, like, as you hear guys bitching, and we got a guy from the training academy in here, but you hear guys on the street bitching about the guys, the training academy never send anything out to us. They don't give us, anything. What the fuck do they do down there? Wear shorts all day and exercise or whatever. But to me, it's like, no, fuck you, man. I mean, you're in a company with three other dudes or whatever, 10, 12, 13 guys in a house. You know what you all need. You know where your deficiencies are. I shouldn't have to rely on the academy to tell me as a captain or even as a firefighter or a sergeant or any position where I'm deficient at. So, like, I hate that fucking argument. And I hear it all the time from people, So,
right.
I mean, be resourceful, and don't sit there and wait for resources to come to you, and create your own training program unique to the people that you work with. Like, that's where the responsibility lies. And then once you do that, then you can branch out and look at it from, a district level to a departmental level. But if you ain't taking care of it in your own fucking house, you don't have a fucking argument. You shouldn't even be talking, if you can't fucking handle that, I mean, so yes, okay, company level is where it's at in the fire service, the company level.
1,000% agree with everything you just said, which I guess I'm really fucking drunk now because I agree with you 1,000%.
I'm really sad I'm not drinking tonight.
So, so my question to you then is, and as a department, you're only, as a group, as a team, as a battalion, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Okay. So let's just use the district chief, okay, who has 4 companies that he's overseeing. Okay. He's got 2 that are doing exactly what you just said. They're fucking training. They're getting with county departments. They're doing all these things. Like, they're fantastic. Okay. Like, any incident, you want these 2 companies fucking showing up first, because shit's gonna get done. You ain't gonna have to fucking micromanage nobody. They're getting their shit. They're squared away. You got these other 2 companies, though. They're fucking just, for whatever reason, whether they got 30 years on, or they're just broke down, or they're just fucking shitty or lazy, they don't do fucking anything. They're a detriment to the department. The company commanders, you can't do anything with them because they got 30 years on. They're protected, kind of, because of their seniority and all that shit. As a district chief, a leader, okay, a supervisor, what do you do now? We just said it should be company level, but when it's not, does a district chief just say, they should be taking care of this shit themselves? I don't know,
Yeah, no, I mean, I think training is the answer to a lot of problems. And,
I agree. But as a district chief, you're going to have to start mandating training to them, right?
Yeah, that's one thing, one part of it. But I also believe that, like, and I look at it from like 6s in truck 4. I felt like, when you're at a company that makes a lot of fires and you're doing a lot of shit, your operational levels like up here above a lot of other people. Just because you're doing it on a more, not because you're special, you're doing it on a more regular basis. You're more probably into the job or whatever.
Right.
Now you get a guy that's across town in another district that's deemed kind of a piece of shit or whatever,
Right.
not a good fireman. He's never really been challenged. He comes to truck 4, he comes to 6s. He will raise himself up from where he's at just to try to meet. It's just natural, as a human. Not everybody, because we've seen those guys.
Right.
Those people sneak through evolution somehow.
Right. That's true.
But
for sure.
Especially nowadays. But typically people will start to raise to the standard, to some point.
Yeah.
So if I have a district like that, then that's where I'm going to start looking at building, what's the problem? Like what is the problem? Is this person not satisfied with the position they're in? They feel like they're not being challenged.
Right.
So they're not doing a good job. Like find out what that problem is on a personal level from a district chief to a captain. Right. So that would be my first action. But simultaneously, I'm going to start implementing, multi-company drills, because if I got 2 companies that are really fucking good and I got 2 companies that are real shitty, when I get them together and make them start training, well, like I said, those 2 shitty companies are going to try to rise a little bit because nobody wants to look like a piece of shit.
Right.
Even if only 3 of those guys on one company come up to a certain level, I've achieved something,
Sure.
So if I'm looking at it from that view, then that's what comes to mind first. I mean, I've never been in that situation. I'm not a district chief, but I have worked with different people, and seen, I mean, obviously I'm 45 years old, so I've seen, problems from people. And that's probably how I would go about addressing it. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
No,
sounds
good.
Yeah. So
sounds good to me. But that's what I'm saying. You have companies like that in districts right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's district chiefs not doing nothing about it. But what they do is they bitch, and then they try to get people moved. Whether it's, hey, this guy ain't a bad worker. He's actually a decent firefighter, but personally you don't get along with him, but you want him out for whatever reason.
There's nothing wrong with that because maybe he'll thrive somewhere else. I mean,
that's true. Well, maybe he would thrive there if the leader was better.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where the problem lies.
This is the way I feel about it. If I'm a coach or I'm a teacher, let's use that. That might be a better analogy.
You're a teacher.
Well, not really. I'm more of a fucking jail warden than I am a fucking teacher. But if I'm a teacher and I've got 5 kids that are fucking outstanding, like they're gonna ace everything I give them. They're always gonna do their homework. They're always gonna participate in class. They're always gonna do all this shit. Now I got 30 kids. That's a big disproportionate quantity of my fucking classroom.
Sure.
That now I have to teach to. I can't just teach to these 5 because they're going to be fine anyway. But I'm going to lose 10 if I teach to these 5. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
So that's what I'm saying as a supervisor, as a leader. And I look at district chiefs and colonels and stuff as the leaders of men because they should be. I mean, we have a paramilitary hierarchy because, I mean, like, we pattern ourselves that way, right? So when you think of colonel and chief and, assistant colonel and assistant chief, those are positions to be strived for. Those are goals, for everybody to have. So therefore that person should represent that type of position. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Pat got mad at me and left, but Pat actually had a great, oh man, how can I say this? Like, he was given somebody that everybody didn't think could be a district chief, and he was pissed about it because now he got this motherfucker. And Pat was like, I was fucking pissed off. Like, I'm going to have to fucking show this guy around now. And Pat, not being closed-minded, he ended up learning more from this guy that he was supposed to be training about dealing with people and being compassionate about problems than he said he had ever learned in the fire department. And I think that speaks well to Pat that he can step back and say that about himself. You know what I mean? Like, that's maturity. That's professionalism. I mean, like, that's pretty cool. But my point being is like, again, because they did that, like, oh, this guy needs help, we're going to give him to you. It was you said that word earlier, a synergetic effect. Like, it was everybody benefited. You know what I mean? Because of the camaraderie, the competition, the training, it's all that stuff. Like you said, this company's gonna come up. It's a shit company, but it's gonna come up a little bit. It ain't never gonna be great, but nobody wants to look like the fucking dumbass, right?
Yeah.
But in that environment, in that moment, everybody can fucking get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
That really left.
No, I don't. And look,
Is this where you come back and be like, oh, fire service, our department's good, and it's too late, dude. You can't like come back from that.
It is good. It's the best. It could be better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
It could be better. And
always can be better.
I mean, I always wonder, being in a union, we would travel to other cities and we would talk to other cities, and it's so weird how the fire service, I don't give a shit if it's here, Chicago, LA, Detroit. We all have the same concerns. We all have the same gripes. We all have the same bitches. It's fucking crazy weird. Leadership. I mean, if you look at the fucking polls, what's that thing that we're supposed to do? I fucking forget what they call it. They have a name for it here, but every city just about has one. Where you talk about how your department could be better, Shit, I can't remember. They always ask us to do them.
Come on, SWOT.
Yeah, I think it's SWOT.
SWOT analysis. Yeah,
there you go. The analysis, So, and it's funny because I'm telling you, like, most departments, it's the same shit in every fucking department. It's leadership, it's training, it's, you know what I mean? These are not uncommon problems for any professional department. It's just who's going to tackle it, not even first, but better. Or maybe not even better, maybe just more often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how it is, we'll get into something and that's the buzzword. Like, that's the buzz thing for the department for a while. Yeah. Sometimes it's a safety related issue, like hoods, or God, make sure you got your fucking hood on. Hey, they're looking for fucking hoods or whatever. And then it'll be something else next week. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, who's going to tackle this thing the best, or not even the best. Again, I said it again, but more often. And, I think consistency is the thing. Like, let's not be reactive to shit. Let's be proactive to shit. Right?
Yeah. That takes foresight.
It does take foresight. Hey, you know what foresight takes? Good leaders. Good leaders can kind of predict where things are going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can see a trend in injuries. They can see a trend in these types of house fires. They can see a trend in what guys are doing, what guys are getting in trouble for, and they should be planning appropriately. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know.
Little fire department's best. Woo!
I just look at, sometimes I get caught up in, I think you've talked about like dealing with people's individual personalities, and even I touched on that a little bit. I tend to fall back like to a position of, I don't fucking care about your personality. I don't care about your wishes. I don't care about your dreams or how you feel today.
Right.
What you think about things. Can you force that door? Can you operate tools? Do you know the basic level stuff, and can you do it efficiently? Like, I don't want to have a discussion with you on all of these other things if you're not the kind of person that can't do those things. And there are a lot of people that don't spend time in mastering those skill level things,
Right.
that are really the meat and potatoes of our job.
For sure.
I mean, because that's what we drive around on huge toolboxes for a reason.
Right.
We don't drive around in a therapy van trying to solve everybody's world problems,
Right. Yeah,
so it's like a lot of times I fall back, and I'm afraid, if we're looking forward, that if I was ever promoted, ever a district chief, that I would be probably a little too aggressive on that side. And like, I don't fucking care how you feel today, like, I don't give a shit. Like, that's not my fucking problem.
Right.
My problem is making sure that you do a good job and you serve the citizens of this community to the best of your ability, and you also serve the men that you work with to the best of your ability. Like, everything else, I don't give a fuck about, and that's just me. I think I fall that direction a little too harshly on people,
That's a fair assessment of yourself,
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think it's necessarily directed entirely wrong either. I think a lot of times we spend too much time in this PR zone where we're trying to make everybody happy about this and about that and conditions. And, I mean, what brings, harsh conditions bring people together and make them work harder and do a better job than anything.
Yeah, sure. Diversity. Sure.
Huh?
Diversity, like a group of people overcoming diversity.
No, adversity. Yeah.
Adversity. I'm sorry, diversity.
Yeah.
Adversity. Yes, correct.
Yeah, you put them in advert, and that's what we're in, and that's where most of the good people on the department thrive. And I'm sure that branches across, any of this shit, military, police department. We're geared towards that type of action. So when a person isn't put in that, like, hell, like me now, I being in the first district for a long time and then coming out to the second district where the workload isn't as heavy. It's still interesting shit that we do, and, but not as regular as it used to be. Like, you start questioning things like yourself and, abilities and everything else. And if you're not matching that with training and a lot of the things that we just talked about here,
right.
You become that type of guy that becomes complacent and, fearful, even.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think that's well put, because I feel like that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say that guys, they reach a certain level and they feel like they know it all. That's probably the wrong wording. It's more like you said, they become complacent, and then they confronting a company officer that has a shit company, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough to do. You may like this guy, you know what I mean? We've seen a lot of our buddies promoted, and had to work with them, and normally not had a problem. But if they were to have a problem with us, it would be awkward for them because we're friends. You know what I mean? So there's that aspect of it too. And again, I think you're 1,000% right on that. I just feel like there's not a lot of, I think the word I keep wanting to say is evolution. Like, I feel like guys aren't evolving. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like if you when you become a captain, you become a district chief, you should be evolving, not just as a person, hopefully you are, but as a leader, as a mentor. And I know you said I fall this way, like, I don't give a shit about your personal life, I don't give a shit about that. That affects people, though.
Yeah, it does. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, I know you are. I'm saying I know what you're saying when you're like, look, man, mission first. It's mission first. Yeah. You can deal with your fucking whore wife for the next 2 days you're off. But while you're here, I expect this. You know what I mean? That would be your leadership style. That would be your management style. May not be somebody else's. Which doesn't make
duty. I would be off duty. It'd be probably entirely different with a person.
Well, of course. For sure.
Job. There's no. I don't have a lot of leeway for things interfering with what we have to do.
Right.
meaning, all those things I just mentioned. Like,
right. Yeah.
they don't,
And
sorry, you're having a bad day. We know guys like that come in and, they're those guys, usually the worst of guys too, that come in different moods every other day.
right.
It's like, well, even our chief, when he comes out, and I know your thoughts on stuff, but he does and he actually references Howder when he talks about consistency and how that's important in the fire service. A person that is consistent in their ability to deal with people, their, coming to work,
Right. Right.
showing up, doing a good job,
Right.
just being a consistent person is enough to elevate you above, even if you're deficient in a lot of areas.
Sure.
If you're consistent in things, then you're probably better.
There's a respect built into that because you know what you're getting with him. He's going to be the same with you as he is with everybody.
Yeah.
So you respect that. Like, he's not going to be a dick to you one day and then shoot the shit with you the next. He's the same way with you every fucking time. And he's going to yell at you just like he's going to yell at the guy over here. I mean, it's,
Yeah, it interferes with the job.
Huh?
It interferes with the job,
exactly.
The mission. I don't like that. I've never really had to work with a guy like that, but on any long-term basis.
Well, so here's a question that we just got, and we'll end it on this because we're almost at 2 hours. Best leaders you've ever known. Ed Sedlock and Mark Ullman. That was their answer. Which you're gonna argue out of me. I mean, Ed was my drill school instructor, and he was a guy, when you say lead by example in the fire department, he'd be the first guy I fucking think of. Yeah. Mainly because we had so much interaction with him, and he PT'd with us, and he wouldn't have told us anything to do that he wouldn't have done him fucking self.
Well, he suffered with us.
And he suffered with us.
Yeah. So, I mean, that means a lot. He wasn't somebody that stood on the side and demanded you run this many laps and he couldn't do one. So sure. There's respect built in that. And I have no problem. I don't know Omen as well, but I mean, I know he's a good guy. Yeah. I didn't work with him.
He was a captain in old sixes. He was on another shift.
Yeah, I mean, I know him. I know him fairly well, but I haven't operated
as
with
a person, you get no better. Yeah. As a dude to drink beer with, it gets no better than Mark Ullman.
Yeah, definitely a good guy.
As a captain, he was pretty goddamn solid too. I mean, I made a bunch of fires with Mark, being in old sixes with him. But I have to say my two favorite leaders, and I've talked about this multiple times on the show before, would be Bo Jordan and Howder. Howder gave me a chance when nobody would, and I appreciated that, and he didn't let me forget it either, which was part of his way of motivating me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that'd be two of my favorite leaders, and not just even leaders, like, and I've talked about this before. I feel like, I grew up on the fire department. You grew up on the fire department. It's molded us in ways that we would have never thought possible had we not been here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, like, I mean, not to sound, I don't know, I don't even want to say shallow, it's not the word, but like, I mean, I feel like these two guys molded me in my adult life as much as my father molded me growing up. Yeah. That's how I feel about them. I mean, that's how strongly I feel about them. Like, I don't know what job I could have went to where I had two men that I looked up to that I wanted to make sure I got their approval all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a weird, it wasn't like I was fucking abused as a kid or nothing like that. It was like I respected them as leaders and as men. And I wanted them to respect me. And I knew to do that, I had to do A, B, and C. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I guess you're asking me two names.
Your turn, bro.
Asked that question.
Your turn.
I mean, obviously, Carol Howder. I mean, I worked with him. I mean, the majority of my career. I mean, towards the end of his, and I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd done anything Fred did. I mean, if he asked, I mean, you explained to Fire that, that we proved that, on, he was knowledgeable, he was consistent. A lot of the things that we've been talking about, he exemplifies. Yeah, definitely. And he was a man's man. Like he was a dude, I mean, he was, he had a persona about him that kind of elevated him above like other men in a room, like you knew that guy was somewhat of an authority. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to pick out who it is, but I mean, I don't want to toot his horn too much, but I mean, he was a good dude to work for. Really was. The best. Learned a lot from him, got challenged a lot by him, which in my opinion is one of the best tenets of a leader is knowing how and like when to challenge people and at what level to challenge them, so that they grow into, a better whatever you see for them, Who else? If you had to pick somebody else. Powder's an easy one. Yeah, that was an easy one for me. I mean, that's always my go-to guy. I'd say Matt Boucher. Okay. Really, yeah, man. I really like that dude. His philosophy, just in life and a lot of things matched mine. We worked together at Truck One. He got injured a few times. Yeah, I drove him to the hospital, I think, every time. Yeah, I mean, we were busy. I mean, made a lot of fires. So, I mean, the guy, then he had a stroke and had some, other issues. I'm a young guy too. And MS, I think he's dealing with now. Yeah. That's all unfortunate because he's a fucking good dude. It was a really good asset. I never worked with, I did work with him when I was detailed over there, of course. But so my girlfriend, the girlfriend that I had for a long time, she had a friend and Matt was separated from his wife and they were going through divorce. And like him and her became like good friends. And so he came out with us all the time. Yeah. So, and I really didn't know him other than just, here and there and, loved him like fucking fantastic. Dude, never had the chance to work with him at that point. And then like later in my career, of course, when I went down to sixes, I was detailed at Truck One a lot. And, I see what you're saying. Like, just like his philosophy on life and stuff. Like he brought that. He was the same dude in a fire department shirt out of it. Well, he was. I mean, in my opinion, a stoic individual that just when things come, they weren't necessarily looked at as problems, but more obstacles. Like, okay, how do we overcome this? And he also was big into training, and I like that about him. Right. The first time I knew I liked the guy, which you may remember, was the big ass bar fight we were in. Yep. At TK's pub. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. That's probably still to this day the longest fight I have ever been in my life. That fight went on for 30 minutes inside the bar. It was ridiculous. Were you talking about when he bit the guy, who bit the bouncer? Yeah, on the dance floor, which the guy deserved. Which Boucher's a badass dude, man. I mean, he's I'll talk to him the next weekend. Guy, he's I mean, Matt, Matt. So for transparency's sake, Matt there was a pile, and the bouncers had taken Matt down, and a bunch of people had came on top of them, and Matt was like, "Dude, I was being crushed." Yeah. Like I couldn't fucking breathe, and I kept screaming, "Get off me," and they wouldn't. He said, so the first bit of flesh that I seen, I took a chunk out of. That's what Survivor does, man. The pile moved. You know what I mean? Like, and he in true form, Matt like paid for that dude's doctor bills and everything. Because like I said, I talked to the dude the next weekend. Yeah, he was a bouncer, right? Yeah, he was a bouncer. Yeah, at TK's. Well, I remember that pile well because it went in a wave across us, and a buddy of ours was in that mix too. Yeah. And I could, what I'm talking about. And I couldn't tell where he was, but I was trying to get a guy off of him. And I remember I reached down and I grabbed a pair of pants and I grabbed a shirt or an arm and I lifted up and the pants ripped from the back pocket all the way down to the cuff at the ankle, and of course I didn't see this guy for another 15, 20 minutes while the fight went on because I mean, we were everywhere, knocking tables over and all this kind of shit. And we were out front, and it wound up being McIntyre. Because he was like, hey, someone ripped my fucking pants. Right. And I was like,
yeah, it was Bruce.
Like, yeah. Oh shit, yeah, bro. I was like, shit, man, I don't know what happened. I almost ripped his pants right off of him, but I thought it was somebody else. You couldn't tell who the hell was who, you know, in that big.
When I got back there, it was Tony Strong was holding a guy. He didn't have a shirt on, and he was going, "Take him out, Josh! Take him out, Josh!" And you went to hit him. And the dude moved, and you hit Tony right in the stomach. The dude squirmed out, and right when you threw your, I think it was like a left hook, and you fucking hit Tony Strong right in his stomach. And
he deserved it.
God damn, Buck, you hit the wrong guy. And then the dude ran out the back.
Dude, I fought. Yeah, well, I went out back with that guy. I remember we were fighting in a parking lot.
Yeah.
At that point. Fuck, that was fun.
Wild night.
Remember they were all, and those guys got kicked out.
Oh yeah.
I think our guys
for life.
Started it. I think our guys started it. Actually, I know exactly who started it.
Yeah, Curtis started it.
Yeah,
100%.
Which was ridiculous, but it was fun. Nobody got seriously hurt except for the guy that Boucher bit.
So just to let you know, Myra's in the chat, and she just said, "I just pulled over to text. I'll tell Matt tomorrow about this. So amazing, he'll love it."
Oh, cool. Maybe he'll listen.
So very, very, very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, and thanks for watching too, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, look, guys, we've been going on for 2 hours. I know we veered off our fucking topic, which is typically what we do. But thank you guys so much for the chat tonight. Always appreciate your questions. Always appreciate your comments. It's fantastic. I love it. So again, thank you so much. So if you guys have not left a 5-star review on Anchor, iTunes, we're on Spotify now. So, if you're tired of listening to Joe Rogan and you want to fucking listen to something stupid, we appreciate the listen. You can give us a 5-star review there as well. Would really help push the show out. And we will be back next week.
Sure.
Wednesday, Josh?
Let me make sure. Is Phil coming on or no?
I don't know.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
Okay.
September 1st.
Yeah, well, try to have Phil on too. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to have you and Phil on both. I think it'd be fantastic. But again, thank you again so much, guys. And we've got new episodes up as well. I put 3 up today on Anchor and iTunes. So if you didn't see them tonight, they should be hit tomorrow. But follow the social media links. And again, I tried to get this show out early this week.
Hey, we already know what next show is going to be about. So, I mean, people were complaining that we're not getting it out quick enough. So
yeah, what's our next show about?
Hazing. Why it's important to bring it back in the workplace. Yes. So that should be fun.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
So tune in. If you want hazing to come back into the workplace, or you think it's the worst idea of all time, join the chat next week, guys. 7:00 Wednesday.